Hey guys, Gamer Abroad here, coming back with you with another tips and tricks video. It's beginner's guide number 2 for City of Gangsters. Now, I want to point out that the city I'm using right now is the city from my reroll, Seeking the Perfect Reroll map, not the continuation from the first beginner's guide. So if you haven't seen that video, check that out. I'm already pretty well established here. I have a couple corners already, and this one is actually actively expanding. I just did some driving around and I unloaded my moonshine. So my first tip for you is when you're at this point in the game, there's a couple things you can do. You should always be picking up your quests, and I have some quests right now that I can actually afford to complete. And one, for example, is deliver 5 bottles of moonshine. So here's a tip. Sometimes it's really hard to find these places on the map. As an example, well, it's not going to be a good example now because I don't own much territory. But if I were to do something like that and it were to bring me down here in my vastly expanded territory, which I will be there at some point, I'm going to get very confused and very lost. So what you want to do is zoom in as much as you can, make sure you have your guy selected, and then select, and it'll take you right to the spot. That's dangerous right there too. There's a cop there, but I'm going to do it anyways. And this brings me into my next tip while we're at it. Okay, notice my favor with this police officer. Now, how you get favor with the police officers is you have to drive around, and when you see these little hands holding the red tickets, these are people that owe you favors. So you want to find somebody that knows the local police. Now, this is very important to bribe your police officer. Let's go ahead and bribe that cop. So suggest a bribe. They don't take bribes, of course, so they're gonna tell you to donate to their union or community group or whatever it is. It's $273 for 250 days. That's a really good deal. He can cause me a lot of damage if he were to raid one of my fronts or pick me up. As I'm driving around, he'll take all your money. He'll take everything in your inventory. Consider it gone. Now, here's a very, very important tip. You guys are thinking about weapons. Now, I promised you guys I would talk about weapons in a future video. This is that video. So this is how you get early access to weapons. After you bribe the police, you go down the option right here. I imagine that you must find and confiscate a lot of interesting things on your beat. Click that option, and you're not going to have the availability to pick up some of the larger weapons. As you see, you need a required crew size, but you can get a Colt revolver and a pocket pistol at the crew size of 2. But right now, I'm going to get a free switchblade, and that's a damn good deal. So I'm going to go and pick that up right now and tell him have a good day. Another tip I want to tell you too is as you see the cops driving around, your relationship actually with them will deteriorate over time. If you just happen to be on the same corner, don't waste your time seeking them out, but give them a little thank you. A police officer always appreciates a thank you for his hard work in keeping the precinct safe. That didn't actually do him anything, so my max reputation, but when you do that, when you drive around the map, it'll keep your reputation up. I had one playthrough where I was not doing that, and it was time to bribe the police again, and she didn't like me anymore because I let my reputation go down. So every time you see a cop, just say thank you. And in real life, too. See a police officer in real life, and he's not busy and you're not busy, tell him thank you. But that's a tip for you guys that I was originally starting with is always do your quests. When I first played through this game, I wasn't doing my quests, and I realized I was missing out on a lot of upgrades for my back rooms and a lot of skills that would have been very, very handy for myself and my crew and my managers and all that kind of stuff. So always do your quests. Another tip and trick for beginners is to, once you have your backroom outfit going, make sure you always have the supplies. As you see here, I need 10 neutral alcohols and I need 25 crocs every 4 turns. Now I'm lucky enough, and I do mean lucky, and if you want to emphasis on how lucky that is, check out my reroll video, that I have my main front, the legal front, producing neutral alcohol. So all I have to do is get crops. Now it's very common for your main front to produce crocs. Mine actually produces neutral alcohol, which is absolutely fantastic. That's why this is the perfect roll. Next tip and trick is when you have nothing else to do, you have the police bribed, so it's safe to drive around without fear of confiscation. There are several options. This is what I recommend for now, is drive around and just start using your action points. As you see, I have none, so we'll go ahead and next turn it. And just start discovering these businesses. As you can see, I just met the Martin boys. So just burn your action points like that. You can see what they want to buy or sell. Unfortunately, they're upset with some harassment by some local thugs. I'm not too worried about that because, well, eventually I'm going to kill them, and so should you. But once you have a pocket pistol, I can guarantee these small outfits will not have weapons either, and then you can start attacking them, pushing their territory out of here, for one, and for two, taking their money and taking their booze. On to the next tip and trick. After you drive around and explore a little bit, getting a little scuffled at this mean old hag down here, I have noticed that this icon has appeared. Now this icon has appeared at several buildings. Now this icon is very important because it means that they have a crew member for hire, and you want to get your second crew because you want to get your weapons. So we're going to go up there and see what kind of crew members they have to offer. So you go to, ooh, looks like she has a quest. It actually looks like I completed a quest. And that quest was to expand to 4 corners. So once you complete quests, you can pick on a variety of rewards. Actually, I'm going to make that a tip. We're going to go with backroom bootlegging because that is the first step to making a speakeasy, and speakeasies are cash generating machines. Not only will they generate cash for you, you only have to take your alcohol to one place rather than having to take your alcohol all around town trying to see if people are thirsty enough. You'll have a central location and people will come to you to buy your product. So this will be the first skill I pick up, and I recommend it's the first skill you should pick up. Another tip. Whenever you see the little hat icon, that means they have skill useful to you. She's got 2 skills, brick wine production and cider making. Now, when you want to decide between the two, brick wine production uses grape concentrate, cider making uses apples concentrate. So let's look, or uses apple juice, excuse me. So let's hit Z, bring up our handy dandy overlay, and let's see if we have any sources to buy these items. No apple juice. Let's check grape concentrate. No grape concentrate. So as for these skills, none of them would really be useful to me unless, if you were to pick one of the two between brick wine production and cider making, I would actually go with cider making because the tier 2 speakeasy will sell bottled cider, but it does not sell the tier 2 version of brick wine. So this is actually a better skill to have, because when you upgrade your backroom bootlegger to a actual speakeasy, you can sell sparkling cider, which is the tier 2 product of cider making. She wants 25 apple juice, and it'll use up 1 favor, so let's throw that quest on there, and hopefully just having that quest there will make apple juice available on the map. Now let's go and do the thing that we came here to do, and that was to inquire about the man for hire, or girl for hire, but unfortunately I've used all my action points, so we're going to skip a turn. Now one thing I am neglecting here is this corner has expanded, so that means I need to have them continually expand. You want your corners to expand as quickly as possible. Just make sure you're extorting enough people in the area to pay off the corners. As you see here, this is one of my fronts. You can see the little green envelope with the check mark. That means they have money for me, and that's a good thing because the 2 businesses right here are being extorted, which is covering the costs of running the corners essentially. It makes it so those people don't like you very much, but all you can do is buy and sell from them, and they'll like you. Every time you buy something or sell something to you, your reputation goes up. If you ever find yourself to a point where your reputation's so low they don't even want to talk to you, just click to see who they know. As an example, go find somebody they know, someone that you may have a favor with. So in this case would be this guy. Zoom on over to this guy, use a favor to get to know him, and your relationship will go right back up. And as you see here too, this person also knows the Chicago Police Department. So when you're looking to get in it with the police, this would be the guy on my roll anyways that you would talk to. You're gonna have to find your guy on your own. So let's do what we came here to do. Let's go under favors. I'm looking to hire someone for my crew, and I am. Even though I don't have another truck right now or a vehicle for him to drive around or anything like that, I could always use a manager in my moonshine production. So once you have a manager there, they start leveling up and they start learning skills related to what they're leveling up with. So he's going to be a moonshine maker. He'll start learning skills on making moonshine, and your moonshine production will actually increase and your material costs will go down, and it's all good. No bad. Well, I take that back. There is some bad. You got to pay the guy, but you don't have to pay him much. So let's check out The personality attributes. He is religious. You may need someone with like-minded frame and solutions in the proper spiritual context. That means nothing to me. He is short, easy to avoid, notice the heat. That doesn't mean too much for me either, because I'm not going to have any heat, because you always want to keep the police bribed. He is strong. They can handle a weapon and load a truck with ease. That actually sounds not too bad, but I'm looking for somebody a little bit more managerial, since my first crew member will be a manager. Once you hire one guy, all of these icons will disappear. So I'm not allowed to have a crew size of 3 at this point in this game, so I'm going to be a little picky. Let's go up here to my front, talk to the main person. Favors, looking to hire someone, tell her to tell you more. We got a woman here, Pearl Testa. She's nervous, always looking over her shoulder. That's actually a good quality. It's a good quality to be nervous when you're a criminal. She's attractive. People enjoy being around this person. And she's sharp. Our good eyesight equals solid aim with firearms and good driving skill. Huh, not bad, but still not what I'm looking for. Let's talk about hiring someone from our crew. Who does he got? Josephine Burasov. She's organized. Person members better operation manager. This is who I'm looking for. Hardworking, needing things done quickly. Irreverent. Not likely to appeal to the religious crowd. This is perfect. She's not perfect, but this is what I'm looking for. So we have hired our first crew member. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on her. And I'm going to assign her to a building. You also have an option to assign her to a car too, but I don't have any cars to assign her to right now. So I'm going to assign her to the building. She has been assigned to my moonshine operation. She is going to level up there, and she's also going to collect her wages there too. So make sure you always have some money there. Another tip and trick as you're leveling your main guy, and in this case for me it's Vincent Macabre, you want to focus on efficient driving so you can move around quickly. Efficient driving and action points, because he's going to be the person that's going to be getting everything done, and you don't want to spend a lot of times doing it. It's very tempting to pick up Brawler. Yeah, I know, if you're like me, I can't wait to get in and start getting into fights with these neighboring territories, but for now I need to handle business, and that's expanding my territory, getting to know people, learning skills, calling in favors, picking up from my fronts, buying and selling, and for all of that you need movement points and action points. Once you have enough money to actually buy your next building, and this one cost me $1,000, you want to buy it as soon as possible. Like I said, I have the bootlegging skill, which should be the first skill you can get, because it's super annoying driving around checking people's thirst level. You want to open up your own speakeasy, that way people come to you instead of you going to them. So once I have the $1,000, which I do now, make sure you have a little extra so your economy doesn't crumble, to buy stoneware Crocs and pay your employee and buy out that building. 1,076 is enough money to do exactly that. So that's what we're going to do. And lo and behold, we're ready to start bootlegging. And once you get your second building, you can actually pick up your third crew member. Another tip is, as you expand further and further, you need to extort more and more so your fronts are profitable. People are going to start hating you at that point. So every now and then, drive around and use up your favors. Check to see who the people that owe you favors know, and anybody that you're lacking on reputation with. This guy is kind of unimportant to me right now because I don't actually know him. But for example, this guy right below me, we're going to increase our respect, our favor with him. Our territory is large enough to support a gambling operation. Ooh. Gambling operations. Now that's something that I did in my last playthrough that caused me a lot of hassle, and I'm not sure I want to go through it again. Driving around town, having to pick up debts, taking massive losses, half my turns. I don't know. I haven't played the base game. I'm not playing the Atlantic City expansion. I know there's a lot of cool stuff for Atlantic City, but I don't think I want to do gambling this time. Every now and then you'll see this icon pop up. They know someone that's particularly useful to you, and what that means is they'll find somebody that has dinner parties or does poker games or stuff like that, and you use those opportunities. You have to pay for your seat. For example, if there's a poker game going, you may have to pay $200 or $300 to reserve a seat to get a seat at the gambling table. You're not actually gambling any real money, but at the end of the card game, they will give you a variety of options. You can learn skills, you can make connections with people, you can learn about buildings, you can learn all kinds of neat things, and sometimes you get just pretty much nothing, so it's just like a roll of the dice, but I do them as much as possible. Another thing to keep in mind too is when you find these people, which we're going to do now. I'm too far from the business. I gotta go here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. those events happen on a specific date. So you got to remember the date, but you're not completely out of luck because the game will notify you by playing a sound when the turn comes. So don't play with your sound off. Well, I mean, I can't say that because I love listening to Spotify and YouTube and shit like that, but at least pay attention to the date. After checking 2 different car dealerships for a vehicle, the only vehicles I see is a 2-door sedan, and for me that's not a significant upgrade for me, so I'm not going to buy a car right now. However, I am going to hire an additional crew member, and I'm going to put my 3rd crew member as the manager for my backroom bootleg and soon to be speakeasy. Organized member is a better operation manager. Here we go. And hardworking. This is exactly the type of person I need to run my bootlegging business. So the final trick I'm going to give you on today's video is to expand your crew within the limits of your actual capabilities. As you saw, I drove around looking for the right car. I could not find it. So instead I expanded my crew to be an operation manager. Always make sure you have money in the operation. As you saw, I kept getting her unassigned, and that's because I can't pay her paycheck. And if you want your managers to level up and learn really, really awesome skills that'll make the managing and production of that business way better, keep them paid, keep them in the building. Don't be like me and let them keep coming out of the building because you're not paying them. This is all for now. Look forward to the next tips and tricks video, which I'll bring to you probably tomorrow or the day after. If you guys aren't subscribed to me, it would mean so much if you subscribed to me and liked and left a comment. I'm just starting this little gaming channel. I have my main channel at gamerabroad.com. It has nothing to do with video games. I was just doing this on the side. So if you guys throw me a subscription, that would mean the world to me, and I will continue producing these gaming videos. And hopefully see you guys live sometime, because I live stream almost every day on Twitch and on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Give me any positive or negative feedback. Give me some tips and tricks if you have any. You guys are very awesome for watching my videos, and I hope you guys stay that way.